They can hear me, but can they hear you?
Can you smell?
What the
Sorry,
Jack is.
it's cooking.
And if I had the button, I will play your music right now.
Oh, hold on, I got it. I got you.
Ay, 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 ay. You just coming in through the mariachis. And here comes El Jaco coming down the ring. Welcome, folks, to episode 239 of the JAC Show. I am the generally beautiful and moronic hack.
And I'm your favorite VTuber, Jack.
And tonight, folks, we could have some very interesting discussions that definitely has been bugging my mind over the weekend, and we also have a announcement that we want to make at the end of the episode. So, especially for those who like to watch us live, it'll be very important. So stick around to the very end. Now, on the more smaller things, actually, Jack, this is a very just small topic. I just want to mention that I have been playing some original Tomb Raider, and actually, have you ever touched a Tomb Raider game?
Yeah, I've touched the. It's been a long time, but I touched like one of the older games.
You touched
Don't
Laura?
remember playing it too much, but the one that I did play the most was a recent game. That was the one for the Xbox One, I think. I have it in my library for Steam or Windows, one of the two.
If it's Xbox One, then that's probably one of the more newer ones. Right? That's from the reboot trilogy. That could be either Rise of the Tomb Raider or Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Which
just says Tomb Raider.
Oh, then that's actually the 2013 one. Oh, that's right. I forgot that one was multi-platform. Is for some reason though, during that time, there's like the late 2010s, Microsoft got like limited exclusivity for the other Tomb Raider games.
Oh wow! I got the Tomb Raiders trilogy remastered.
The original?
I didn't know I had it. Yeah, the original remastered trilogy.
Well, there you go. That's actually the game that I'm actually going through right now. But I'll keep it short and sweet. My mind's racing. Okay, I just want to briefly mention this. I have one of the newer ones. I have Rise of the Tomb Raider for my PS4, and I tried it out because I got it used. And I want to make sure the game worked, and if not, GameStop is gonna have hell to pay. And I kid you not, I never seen a character in a video game be over animated. Like, and you have to like play the game and look at it for me to describe it, because oh my gosh, it's both like impressive that Laura has so many subtle and dynamic animations, but at the same time I'm like, calm down, woman. Calm down. So I'm like, oh, and I think it's the weird juxtaposition is that she feels very floaty and very light, and she's moving around, reacting to like every single part of the environment. It's like, Laura needs to get on her medication. She can't be tomb raiding if she has ADHD going on. That's how it feels. And in contrast, I'm playing the original Tomb Raider through the remaster collection on my Switch, which by the way, surprisingly, I actually like playing that game with the Joy-Cons, but like in the little Joy-Con holder. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, that's yeah.
Actually, and because I tried playing with a Pro controller, and that D-pad does not feel well with that game for me. So using like the actual buttons on the Joy-Con that are like the directional buttons feels more natural, which makes sense if you look at the original PlayStation controller. You know, it's effectively 4 different command buttons. Anyways, So the big contrast with Rise of the Tomb Raider, over animated, light as a feather, and it just feels like very kinetic. And then original Lara Croft in the first game, despite having the same type of body and build for the most part, maybe a little more a curve, she moves like a damn tank. and yes, and the game does have tank controls, but I'll put it this way: you play the Resident Evil 1 remake, and would you say that even though you're on tank controls, the characters still felt like they didn't feel slow? You know, you could still react to your environment and relatively quickly, right?
Correct.
Original Tomb Raider, that is not the case. That is a game that you have to be methodical, because not only does Lara move like a tank, she has one movement speed, and her big like forward run is like it feels like it's like for a woman who is fit, athletic, she runs like she's taking a brisk jog.
No, I think I remember that from playing one of the original ones.
And the way she turns is it's not snappy at all. It's like driving a car. You just kind of have to, as you're turning, you have to lightly tap the left or right buttons to give her to curve around corners. Because if you don't do that, what you end up doing is you have it to stop, completely turn around, go forward, stop, completely turn around, go forward. And so it was a lot, and so it was, you know, it wasn't Resident Evil, not even the original ones. It's a lot more slower, but luckily the game is designed around that movement, so you can acclimate to its antiquated controls. And I did try, because it's a remaster, they added a modern control style, which all it is just that you have the same movement speed, but you can move around like full 360 degrees, and but but it's still awkward because you still have the momentum and velocity of a tank. You just can just move you can just move like in a somewhat modern game. And then for some reason they did the thing where you use the shoulder buttons for a lot of the actions so it can mimic like a modern game. It's like especially shooters, which which I guess because I'm acclimated to the original controls, it felt very unnatural. Since for a visualization for folks, in order to like say shoot your weapon, there is a button dedicated to holstering and unholstering your weapon, and then you have to press a different button to then use it. So, in any case, I will. I right now put like maybe about 2 hours into it. I'm on my second big environment to explore, and I enjoy the puzzles. I enjoy the actual traversal, and I do, and actually the game is very very ambient. Like we're in a tomb, like you're in a tomb. It's quiet. There's hardly anyone there, and like something can like come out to spook you, whether the trap or an animal or a monster. Like literally a T-Rex snuck up on me, a literal T-Rex. And I was like, oh my god, and it killed me in one shot. But the biggest problem with that original game, is that the combat is not great. It's just not, because you move like a tank, but none of the animals do. It's very hard to be mobile while trying to shoot, because all the animals are faster than you. You are at the mercy of the game's auto aim, and the only way to actually aim at the animals somewhat is if your camera position is looking straight in front of them. If they get behind you or to the side, you're literally having to like curve, slowly turn around to the animal. But when they hit you and if they trap you in the wall, They're just eating away at your health. There is no iframes. Lara Croft has no iframes in this game.
Oh God.
Yes.
I don't remember.
Maybe they fix it in the later ones, but for the original game, it's the combat is very rough, and is the aspect of the game I enjoy the least. The only saving grace is that at least when it comes to your handguns, you got infinite bullets. That's the only saving grace.
Oh, okay.
So I just want to just share that real quick. So I've been playing that, and hopefully I can get to it quickly. I hope I didn't accidentally commit myself to like a 30-hour game. I hope it's not that long. I probably can look it up, but I'm already like a few hours deep into it. Also, hello Chris and hello Ghetto. I see you guys in the chat. Chris says Tomb Raider, my dinner with Andre PS5 remastered. Oh man. Anyways, so moving on from that though, actually, I kind of want to ask. Jack, what this is it. Not what you've been playing recently, but is there actually kind of curious? Is there anything that you're gonna be you are wanting to play this year, whether it's a new or old game?
Well, let me see. I am kind of interested in seeing what is happening with Resident Evil with Requiem. I'm curious at how the story is going to be playing out, considering that 7 and 8, that's pretty much that's kind of done.
Yeah, I was genuinely surprised that 8. I thought the 9th one was gonna follow Ethan Winter's daughter, but no, she got a whole DLC epilogue, which I was kind of disappointed that they resolved her story like that. But I actually still need to play it because who knows? Maybe I'm making assumptions. I still haven't played that DLC for 8. Actually,
same, and it's been sitting there in my my inventory for quite a while.
I actually want to look. When is Requiem coming out? I'm looking it up right now. It is. Oh crap, Jack! It comes out this Friday.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's like it snuck up on me. Damn. Dang it. Okay, I saying dang only because that I'm having a non-issue in that I kind of really want to play this on a console. I know I can get it on my computer and I know I can play it. I know. All right, we got me to this song and dance, but I'm hoping to but I would like to just because I'm so used to playing an RE game on a console for the most part that I would like to play on the console, but that game's not releasing on. It's only releasing on the newest consoles on the market. And I don't have a PS5 and I don't have a Switch 2, so it's like
it's gonna be on the Switch too.
Yeah. Yep.
That's gonna look ugly.
May I don't. Well, actually, I don't know. I mean, that depends. Are we at the point now where anything at 1080p is without question ugly?
Well, the fact is that if a burger in the RE engine looks ugly already, even though it's supposedly the best thing ever, yes, I'm gonna say it's gonna look ugly.
That's everyone. Everyone upgrade to 4K. That 1080p, that's trash now. Get out of 1080p.
Look at that. Just go back. I don't care if it's 4K, 8K, 16K. I don't care. That burger is still gonna look ugly. God knows what. It's like it's been filled with cheese and spaghetti.
Yeah, you talk about the burger in the RE2 intro. In fairness, it has nothing to do with resolution. That is plainly just the RE engine at work.
And I think that's just the developers at work because they literally, I think someone mentioned that they wanted the burger to look as ugly as possible.
You know what? Maybe they were trying to be like, "Hey, this guy's a trucker. He's not gonna be getting the most healthiest of food." So if anything, maybe and they onto something. And also, Ghetto, you're correct. Pragmata, which is a original
Oh
Capcom game. I'm
yeah.
actually interested in playing that. Although I need to try the demo out, but that's been like so far off my mind. So you know what, Jack, you're most likely get not nine first. So I'll probably watch like the first live stream of it, and after that, I'm like, all right. From there, if I still want to play it, I'll be like, I'm just gonna get a Switch 2 and play it through that way, or just suck it up and just play it through my PC. Gotta suck it up.
Another game that I'm currently
Suck it
playing,
up, Laura. Wait, what?
uh, that it's more like limit testing how these devs do it. So they Digital Extremes recently like shadow launched their Android port for Warframe,
An Android.
and
Okay.
yeah, like phone, mobile.
Oh,
It's like the whole entire game. It's the whole game, and some of y'all have seen me stream this game, so it's the whole game, same servers and everything. You're just now playing it on your Android phone. And I am surprised by how well they like optimize the hell out of that game to be able to be playable on the mobile phone. And it makes me think about like the amount of devs that just do not take the time to optimize their own games for the Switch. Could it be an unfair comparison? Yeah. I won't disregard that, but
and yeah, and also,
I still gotta say it's impressive.
and yeah, I mean, and how long has like Warframe's been a game you can play? Like you were playing that game when we were in high school, right? If my memory serves correct.
On and off.
Right, so it's been around at least a decade. So if anything, it would be weird if modern phones couldn't run it.
Well, considering the fact that the game, as like any other game, has had their visual updates, has their effects updates, like if I put this into ultra on stream, my own PC would crash just because I cannot handle playing the game and streaming it at max settings.
Right, right. Actually, looking up
But
I'm looking up
mhm,
just a short article on it. Apparently, the total size of the application for the Android version of Warframe is only 14 gigabytes. That is some damn good
yep,
optimization.
yep. Like I was telling some friends like 14 gigabytes for this game. And let me go on Steam, like the Steam library for the game itself.
Yeah, how many gigs is it blowing up your SSD right now?
This game, uh, actually not that many. It's 36, so it's taking in half,
Hmm.
and probably
Damn.
not. Wait, hold on. I'm probably not even looking at the entirety of the. Because I don't know how Steam does it with calculating
I mean,
the what you may call it.
I mean, sure, it's more.
But
I
yeah, it
just
is it is considerable reduction, or what is it called? You know the word.
I'm
My brain
sure.
can't think.
It is a significant, almost. What is it? Is it about half? Yeah,
Almost about half,
yes,
yeah.
almost about half of the PC version. Now is this now? I think the only thing I'm just thinking of, because since the Warframe's a pretty intense third person shooter, um, I don't. None, I don't. But I think it's. Are you gonna be like just gonna try to play that game with the touchscreen controls, or you're gonna try to like sync up a Bluetooth controller to it?
I tried both. I do not like the touchpad controls, but that's because for the most part when it comes to like later game, I need that quick reaction time. So yes, I have used a Bluetooth Xbox controller.
Not you know what? You just reminded me of when I don't know what game my little brother was playing on his phone, but whatever. Oh, I remember now. This is when he was briefly into Roblox, and he would play it through
Hmm.
through his phone, and he will always get a PS4 controller to connect to Bluetooth so he can play Roblox on his phone. So
But yeah, it is very impressive how they have made the game optimized to mobile.
yeah, you know what? Yep, that and and that's something to be praised for. Considering when I look at the games I have on my computer, I have to do so much memory management, and I think right now the biggest culprit, believe it or not, of games taking up so much of my memory space was actually
Hmm.
the Tekken 8. Good lord, Tekken 8 is a glutton.
Yeah, that thing has a lot. Whenever I first downloaded it, it was
So
yeah, it's excessive.
yep, yep. But so it's good to see developers being wise and in in their products and giving them and not giving and having optimization, especially especially for something that is on a smaller and technically weaker hardware than on a PC or console. Because at that point, you really do need to, is if you're going to have a free Android version.
It's so wild to see the decision of having the mobile group actually interact with everyone else. Because usually when it comes to these things, if that's the case, then it's always mobile first and then ported into Steam, like a lot of other mobile games.
Yep, yep. That's the ones I know that are like that, or are a lot of the Nihoyo games.
Yep.
By the way, are they still drawing the crowd like they used to? People still are crazy about them. Do you know?
I never played too much of those games. I don't know, they just never really fit my vibe.
You're telling me you didn't want to play games that ape mechanics of other popular games and add gotcha elements to them? You don't
Like I like
say.
my gotchas and everything, but I kind of I want to have some kind of what's it called? Uniqueness to it. There the gotcha games that I played have either been discontinued in the US because they're too unique for the US, but they're thriving in the Japanese market,
Not
or
a, too unique,
yep.
aka not enough hot anime chicks.
No, it's just like okay, I remember I used to play this game called Crash Fever.
Right?
And with this game, the way it works is you have your usual things of like having a team set up of like of all the characters that you have. They had so many events. They had crossover events with different animes. They had new characters with these new characters having their own continuous line of themed things. So like you have, let's say you have goddess, sun goddess, phoenix lady. That's the new character. 2 weeks or like 2 months later, whenever it's like the middle of summer, you have beach party sun goddess lady.
So they're
So
always
like you get the
you're pumping like new content like very frequently.
yeah, and the way the game played was basically it would fill up, you would have like your screen fill up with like these jewels, and depending on how which jewels you press first, it would start a chain reaction to all the other ones of the same color.
Oh, very,
Of
very,
course, if it's this,
very puzzling,
Mhm.
very puzzling dragons.
Yeah, and you can your characters can have special abilities where it can basically say, oh, we will treat reds with greens as they're both the same, and you would have bigger chains and everything.
I
It
see.
was a fun game. It recently, like around 3 or 4 years ago, the U.S. server shut down, but they're still alive in Japan.
I see. Yeah.
Another one I had very quickly was a pinball one. Yeah, it was very interesting. I actually did like it. The only problem is that, again, people here in the U.S. didn't like it, but it's still alive in the Japanese servers.
Okay, so I understand. I definitely understand what you mean when you say uniqueness. Unique in the and like in the actual mechanics, whether it be like a puzzle game or as you were talking about a pinball game. So you know what? I can I actually appreciate a gotcha just trying to be different from that aspect while doing all the gotcha stuff that they want to do. I think, and you
Mm-hmm.
actually don't make me remember. I think there's two games that look that are gotcha games that I ever sink any real time into, and that is Dokkan Battle. and
Oh, that's right.
yep,
Yep.
and Fire Emblem Heroes. Then, and funny enough, I only when I stopped initially playing Dokkan Battles, got tired of it. But then I was like, oh, I want to play it again. Um, and trying to replaying that Jack, that UI was so garish and horrible to me. I immediately uninstalled it. I was like, I'm not dealing with this UI. And Fire Emblem Heroes, just simply, I just got bored of it. That simple as that. And from the and I never t- never touch a gotcha game again. Actually, no, I lie. I briefly, when it was like novel and new, I briefly touched Genshin Impact because I want to see what the hubbub was about, and uh, as soon as I realized, like, oh, it's like a very bare bones Breath of the Wild with gotcha mechanics and a very in my eyes generic anime look. I also just uninstalled and didn't want to play it.
I had that same kind of reaction, to be honest, whenever I played it.
Yeah, and,
I still don't see the appeal of the game, but hey, people like their characters, they like their voice actors in those characters.
that is true.
Have fun.
Yep. Kudos to them. And Ghetto, yep, he said he used to play K with All Stars, so that got shut down. Damn. Did you ever try to get the WWE crossover characters?
Wait, what?
Oh, you don't know? In KOF All
No.
Stars, there was they had a crossover with the WWE, so you can have like John Cena. Let's see who else was there. Maybe like, I know John Cena was the one people always showed, but as far as other wrestlers, I'm actually not sure who else they added. I think maybe who was that? I think maybe Randy Orton, maybe him, probably a bunch of other wrestlers
Mhm.
I'm not aware of because it's from more in the past like 5 or 10 years of wrestling that I'm not too familiar with. Let me actually see. KOF All Star WWE. There. Okay, I'm looking at like a short article. Yep, I see. Just from here, just from seeing it, I see The Rock, John Cena, Undertaker, Becky Lynch, and is that Kofi Kingston? That could be Kofi Kingston. Probably not. But I see them hanging out with Iori, with Keel, Athena. So oh yeah, it is Kofi Kingston. Yeah, okay, I was right. So yeah, you get to have them in the game. I don't think they added any more wrestlers. That was from 2020, so it was 5 years ago. Damn, there was damn you could have Then just imagine. That's my ideal team right there: Terry Bogard, King, and Undertaker. I will be unstoppable. Well, who would you?
Yeah,
Who
just
would you, who would
getting
you put?
knocking someone out in the perfect knockout, and then just hear doom.
Bang. Oh, who would you? Who would
It's
you?
the Undertaker.
Who would you? Which wrestler would you put in your KOF team?
Rey Mysterio.
Right. Ah, if only was in the game, we could have some official art. Oh,
Yeah,
but wait,
I love my luchadores.
wait. So would you have a team full of just luchador wrestlers? So you'll
Yes.
have Rey Mysterio, Angel, and Ramon.
Yep.
The perfect team. No weaknesses, no flaws. Just don't fight against anyone with range.
What about what was that one what was the one the dinosaur one?
Oh, that's right, King of Dinosaurs.
Yep.
I mean, I guess he counts as lucha. He just doesn't fight like a lucha. I guess. No, he counts. No,
He grapples. He grapples.
I know, but lucha is very specific. Luchador is very specific. But I take
but he's a.
But I take back because he is still a masked wrestler, and
Mm-hmm.
he is actually acrobatic. So I take back King of Dinosaur is with no doubt a luchador. So there you go. Take out Ramon.
Exactly.
You have Rey Mysterio, King of Dinosaurs, and Angel. You gotta add the woman somewhere. Wish. That's you know what it was one of those things when I saw it first time I was like you know what maybe, but then my mind quickly went no because I don't even play KOF All Star and I'm not gonna spend money just so I have a chance of getting a wrestler to be a part of it. Oh well. So I actually do want to then I do want to transition. So I'll go ahead and start this kind of big topic that got me a lot of thinking about over the weekend. And I'll tell you, Jack, it got me so deep in thought that after that I had to literally put up a blank Word document and like my own journal, just write out all my thoughts as much as I can until I can like come to my own conclusion. And you know what? Maybe I can. Well, let's see. Let me make sure I didn't say anything slanderous in that document. I shouldn't have. It's let's see. Where is it? Where's my Google? Wait, no. Okay.
Where's my Google Doc? I don't want to hear that as a VTuber.
Oh, guys, I have an announcement to make. I'm gonna post my Google Doc on my X account. Here it is. All right, I got it. Dang, I was like, so I didn't even title it. There you go. You know what? So I didn't finish it because at a certain point I came to a conclusion and I didn't see any reason to keep on going. But I'll go ahead and let's see. Well, I'll show it and I'll read it. You know, because you gotta show and tell. So so let me actually. Where's no. There we go. I'll go ahead and share it to you. Share it. I'll do a screen share with you, Jack, through Discord, and of course the folks in the chat. You will see it in a moment. Bada bing, bada boom. Bing, bing, boom, bing, bing, boom. And share my screen.
305.
There you go, Jack. You should be seeing it on my screen. On you should be seeing it on Discord.
I got it.
Good. And now for there you go. And now our audience can see it. So I'll read through this briefly. Again, this is just more trying to put my thoughts onto digital paper. And we'll see let's see. We'll see what you guys think. So let me begin. Today I watched a video entitled "Remakes in Art: Can Games Be Replaced?" by the YouTube channel Nero. In this video, Nero presents the many arguments and discussions surrounding the controversial debates around video game remakes and their status as works of art. In a little over an hour, Nero showcases many arguments and examples of this debate from classic cases, like popular remakes of mainstream games mainstream games like The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and Resident Evil, to interviewing independent game developers who are creating an homage to Nintendo 64 3D platform games and their unique perspective in utilizing modern game tools to recreate antiquated game designs and aesthetics. In truth, many of the discussion points Nero brings up in this video are points that I am intimately familiar with due to my past experience with this specific subject matter. The only novel concept presented by Nero that interested me was his elaborate explanation on how video games are a unique form of art that are directly tied to the available technology of its time, and how people can interact with them. He presents a case that with other media such as painting or film, the way people largely interact with those two forms of media have mostly been unchanged. A person observes a painting or creative work and draws a conclusion from said work. This same idea with film, except the person observing the work for a duration of time. With games, a person must be an active participant in order for the game to function. Even the most simple or mind-numbing games require a minuscule participation from the player. And the era a game is created determines how that interaction would proceed. You will not play an arcade game from the 80s in the same manner as a modern game, and vice versa. I found myself drawn to this topic over and over again because it is something worth discussing. Prior to this video, my conclusion to this debate was this: a video game can be art, but not all games are inherently art. It is helpful to remind ourselves that video games made for profit are first and foremost a product. This applies to movies, television shows, and music as well, because their primary purpose is to provide entertainment in exchange for your capital and time. Much like how film critics would not consider yearly blockbuster movies as serious artistic expression, there are genres of games that cannot be labeled as having artistic expression, such as sports games, racing games, arcade games, MMOs, or competitive multiplayer games. And it is rare to find people who would disagree with this notion. So when the discussions surrounding art and video games are brought up, a majority of the time, people are commenting on single-player games that emphasize crafting a narrative for the player to go through, and that's the important distinction. Games that emphasize crafting a narrative for the player. I won't spend too much on this point because there are plethora of examples of games that craft narratives incredibly well and unique. There are games that use traditional cinematic techniques to tell emotional stories in a compelling way, such as The Last of Us or Metal Gear Solid series. There are games that use abstract world building and detailed environments to create a world for the player to uncover and learn, like in many of From Software's action role-playing games. Those games, without any doubt, are works of art. So then here comes the conundrum. What about remakes of these single-player games? Are they works of art too? If Metal Gear Solid is considered a work of art, then can the remake, Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes, also be a work of art since it inherits everything and then some from the original game? And that's why we're kind of stuck, because I kind of had an epiphany that I will share later. So those are like my immediate thoughts upon watching this video here. Remakes in art, can games be replaced by Nero? And it's a fairly new video. It came out 3 days ago. It's a little over an hour. If this topic interests any of y'all, I would recommend watching it, especially if you had the time. And I kid you not, I was so engrossed in this video because I was watching it because I decided to treat myself to some CC's Pizza. And like at a certain point, I was just ignoring the food and I got so engrossed in the video. So a lot of the stuff that just my thoughts come directly from that video, and just I guess Jack from any of the anything that I have written down here, and as I was saying, so anything that kind of, oh, what thoughts, what immediate thoughts come to your mind regarding this topic?
Mhm. I think the let me see, where is it? I'm trying to read it right here to see the part where
Want me to zoom it up?
I think I can agree with the fact where the obvious statement: a video game can be art, but not all games are inherently art. Because I don't know if there are going to be people out there that think uh a Madden 2K is an art form, because like it really is just like it's
It's meant to
how would I even say it?
it's meant to
Yeah,
simulate
it's meant to simulate.
a sports game, and that's like the immediate example because I thought the same thing too. But you can also say like a game that I actually played yesterday with a friend, Overwatch. As even though it's technically more creative than Madden, at the end of the
Mhm.
day, it's a competitive multiplayer game.
Well, but then that begs the question, because like Overwatch does have their own comics
It
and like lore and everything.
it
So
it has a
are
net.
you judging it based on just the gameplay that's available to you?
I'm judging the game as it is, as it wants to be. There is a narrative and lore underneath it, but that's all secondary to what the game actually is. And I guess I could, but I also do see your point that because it does have a narrative that interests some people, does then that elevate Overwatch into art? And but the issue is the act of playing a game doesn't inform the narrative.
So what would constitute as actively playing the game? Because people can't say reading the bios in the game is technically
You're not playing the game though.
that.
You're not playing the game. You're more so messing with additional content, but you're not actually playing the game. Because again, to use another example, look at Call of Duty. Now, granted, I'll put this: Call of Duty has a campaign mode, and in almost all of them, uh, whether now, and there are some, a lot of more famous ones, especially for the Modern Warfare games. Those have moments that do exhibit certain emotions and are an artistic expression. The most infamous or famous ones, like in Modern Warfare One, where you are put in a position where you have to nuke an entire, or not, where you have to, I think you have to either escape a nuclear attack or you cause one. I forget which context it is, but you get caught in the radius of it, and it's a very daunting moment. And then there's the famous moment of the second game, the no Russian, where you are,
Mhm.
as a player, you're put into a situation where you have to do something incredibly heinous and disturbing,
Yeah.
and that is a very artistic expression, and that's all put into the single player game that as a player you play through. But the multiplayer side, you know, there is no artistic expression in that. And if Overwatch had it, and if Overwatch has something for you to actually participate in its narrative in a meaningful way, then we can make that argument that it has artistic expression, but it doesn't. It's a strictly multiplayer game, and it has the dressings of a plot in order to, I guess, in order to give backstory and reasons for these characters and why you should care. So what artistic expression it has is very limited and not too engaging.
No, because I kind of have to disagree with the fact that something has to be engaging to be counting as the game having artistic expression. Because like, what about games that do have these uh like I think a lot of games like Ori and the Blind, or I haven't really played them too much, or what was the other one, Hollow Knight, or the story is pretty much there. It's like in the background, but you don't always end up
You're right.
interacting with it. So then at that point, would you call these games not artistic expression just because you don't interact with every single plot point or thing that's like artistic?
Um, I see. I'm trying to find my words here. No, those games are artistic because you are engaging with the narrative.
Not always.
No, you are.
There can be
like
a
you playing through the levels and the challenges set forth by the game. That's the narrative that the game designer is making the player go through. In the very similar way that Dark Souls has, and 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 Dark Souls and much of the Souls and the Souls like games that From Software makes, they definitely do have narratives, but it's very loose, and you kind of have to kind of cobble it up to see the context of everything that's going on. And to go back to Overwatch, I think I think I should not have said engaging because that's a very subjective quality. Something can have all the artistic integrity of the world. Something can have all the artistic expression in the world, but the viewer can still find it not very engaging. So I'm wrong on that. I should not have said engaging. I think what I should have said is that does like how impactful does that narrative does the narrative and the plot and the characters affect the way you play the game. And when it comes to a game, I just said like Hollow Knight or In the Blind Forest or any From Software game, is very much greatly. Even though the narrative is not very upfront and center, it still directs you to the many challenges and obstacles you encounter through those games. While with Overwatch, with Overwatch, that all that stuff about the characters' backstories and the kind of the context of what's going on in the background doesn't really inform you of the gameplay. It gives you a nice look into who these characters are and what they do, but that is not always inflected into when you're actually playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because why would, like, for war reasons, why would Widowmaker team up with any of the Overwatch heroes if there's no compelling reason for that to happen, instead of just, oh, she's a sniper archetype, so we need one for our team in this match.
Then I guess to have a rebuttal for that specific sentence, because it's not really a point against. I just want to see what your line of thinking is on this. What about something like Marvel Rivals? Because we have an in-game explanation to why there would be like a villain teaming up with something that with a team that they're totally incompatible with, or two heroes that just don't like each other, would never be with each other in a team up.
Definitely. And so the question is that a form of artist, and so that goes back, is that art? And actually, before I answer your question, I want Teen Andy to establish something real quick. So, because words are important, I think we can all agree to that, right? Words are important.
No. Actions.
Action speaks louder than words. All right. So let me actually try to. There we go. All right. So let's actually set a definition of what art is. The definition isn't everything, but it's a good starting point. And it is, and which is go to dictionary.com, and here is how the website defines art. It is the first the definition: the quality, production, expression, or realm of things that conform to accepted aesthetic principles of beauty, show imagination and skill, and have more than ordinary meaning and importance. Definition 2: the class of objects that meet or are subject to aesthetic criteria, objects considered beautiful, imaginative, skillful, and meaningful collectively, such as paintings, sculptures, and drawings. And let's see. And another definition: any craft or field of creative activity applying aesthetic principles, skills, and technique. So we got established down. And to answer your Marvel Rivals question, because I'm actually kind of now, I'm thinking about, because I think that there's always something that I guess I come into conflict with our video games art discussion, is that just because a video game has music, original imagery, and maybe has some sort of a narrative or plot, does that mean that it is a work of art? And there's a lot of examples where you can say definitely it is, but then you can also point to examples that have there are games that have those things, but are not, but are not, but you will not consider them art. Like, for example, a Mario game. Any Mario game, for the most part, we have the barest bones of type of plots, with something really a little twisty, and with some unique things separated from the other Mario games, but they're never, their stories are shallow deep as intended, and but they always, those games always have very vivid imagery and very incredible music, and of course that goes on to gameplay. So one person could say, because it had those things, it is a work of art, but because those are one could argue, and this one could make for going back to Marvel Rivals, that those things, that having those artistic qualities up in the game does not make the game artistic in and of itself. So with Marvel Rivals, it definitely has a separate story, or it has a story and a reason of why the characters are doing what they're doing, and has a setup so that when players join in, they understand what's going on, especially with regards to whatever is the event for that season of the game. And the question is, then the question you ask yourself, okay, are these season events, are they trying to express some sort of emotion out of me, or is there something I should get out of that could that resonates with me as a player, and to make me consider a different view, or maybe an idea to explore? Or is it mere like, hey, this is a novelty, so that I can have something, or is it more so a novelty, so that when I play my game, I can enjoy the I can enjoy kind of the set dressing of the game, of why everything the way it is, and why the characters act the way they are. And I guess the best way to put it is like when you create stories with your toys. Well, you wouldn't necessarily say that's a work of art, but it does have the engagement for you to explore. Oh, this novel idea, like what's going on with Rivals? Is the Deadpool stuff, right? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
So so this season's novel idea, add Deadpool to the mix and see what his chaotic nature can affect the ongoing storyline of the game, but also the actual meta of the game as well, as seen as a new character.
Hmm.
So and all that stuff is definitely good and makes the game engaging to play and more players interested, especially to come in, especially for people who love Deadpool. But all that stuff is not expressing some sort of. But all that stuff is not expressing something artistically.
Okay.
Yeah, and I came to kind of also as I was writing this, I came kind of to a point of like I think if as people who enjoy video games, we need to be comfortable with the fact that hey, we can enjoy a game and think it's something's really good without having to try to elevate it to some high status of art. And because
Hmm.
you know, one thing that the example that draws to me is I think of the Devil May Cry and Bayonetta games. You know, they they have some sort of artistic expression. Well, no, I'm sorry, no, I'm not. They have a they do attempt to engage in having a narrative that is engaging, but I'm not going to tell you those games have a story that really makes you think or is going to change how you view things in the world. But those games are not meant to do that. With Bayonetta, is like, hey, we got this cool lady witch character who has guns on all four of her limbs, and we're gonna put her into these crazy situations that you get to play through. Devil May Cry is the same
Hmm.
thing. It's all about, hey, you get to be this cool half demon, half human guy with all the weapons you can handle, and just kill a bunch of demons from the first mission to the last. And they'll include things to make it compelling. Because if it's just a simple, oh, there's let's say you just fight monsters, but there's nothing to engage you, then why keep playing? Then it's kind of
Hmm.
it ends up kind of like a more like an arcade game where you're just going from one level to the next, just beating stuff up. And if it's a short experience, like let's say like an arcade game where you can finish it in 2 hours, then you get the most of it. Then you're not really worried about having to be that engaged with whatever plot or narrative it has. But because Bayonetta and Devil the Cry games they're more than 2 hours long, they're like, okay, we need something to keep the player invested. And so the the best things that those games will do is, all right, we will have a narrative that's just engaging enough for you to be interested in, but because the actual plot and world buildings are mildly interesting but not all that impressive, they focus more of like, check how cool our characters are. And
Hmm.
and that's why like every cutscene with Dante and Bayonetta, they're doing something outrageous, because that's kind of like your intrinsic reward as the player, as like you get to see the next outrageous thing that these characters do. And is that artistic expression? It is a kind of it is a kind of artistic expression, but is not one that but it's not a strong one. So games can have a form of artistic expression, but necessarily mean that it is the main focus, or one that is trying to be front and center, like the Metal Gear games. Metal Gear games, they're all
Hmm.
about putting like, hey, this is we're all about, and here is what we're trying to say, and they metaphorically kind of beat that message into the ground. Don't May Cry, nah, is like, hey, look, we got some cool characters, and they're gonna go on this wacky tale for you to enjoy, and it doesn't get any more deeper than that. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I could see.
Nothing wrong
No,
with
I
that
could
at
see it.
all. So now, okay, now here's now, of course, that's just kind of like the basis of or art gains art. But the crux of what Nero was talking about was about remakes. Can can and like the idea of if games can be art, can you remake art? And is it still a work of art if you're remaking something that already exists? And that was what brings the interesting question. And I remember as I was typing this down, I kind of came to I had a few you like aha moments. So number one,
Hmm.
there is precedence of remaking something and still be a form of art where you're not just copying, and it's with not with video games, but it is with music.
Okay.
And specifically when it comes to doing covers. Now, for the most part, when any artist does a cover of another artist's songs, for the most part, it's just they do either a straightforward, they're not gonna mess with the secret sauce of a cool song. They're gonna play it straight, maybe do something a little bit different from the original, but it's more often than times an artist just wants to play their favorite song, and that's it. Is
Hmm.
that art? No, it's a performance and that's fine. But then you have artists who they look at an existing song and go, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna do my own thing with it. And sometimes it fails, and sometimes it is like a big success. And the example that comes to my mind would be the song "Hurt," originally performed by Trent Reznor and performed and written by Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails.
Hmm.
Yet, despite that, the version everyone knows of that song is the one by Johnny Cash. And why? Everyone associate that song with him now, even though he didn't write it, was because we hear that original song. He he took it and he goes, all right, I'm gonna play it the way I will play it, and along with the producer that was working with him at the time, he put his stamp of, okay, this is how we're going to perform this song, so that it's not just a novelty, because back then, think about like back in the late 90s, old country star singing an alternative rock song. On paper, that sounds horrible. It's like trying to imagine, random example, imagine trying to imagine Billie Eilish singing a Limp Bizkit song.
Hmm.
You think about that and you go, on paper, you're going, okay, how would this work? You guys are in two different types of genres and in different style. There's no way it will work. Same idea with Johnny Cash and Trent Reznor. They're so distinctly different and from two different eras of music. But he took that song of Hurt and he made it, and as Trent Reznor said it in an interview, he goes, when he heard Johnny Cash sing the song and then he saw the music video that was made for it, Trent said, at that moment, the song was no longer mine. It is like Johnny made it his, and that's the most famous example of, you could say, a remaking another work of art, and that you can see a lot of that in music. So now, can that same philosophy apply to video games? That's where we reach the gray area. Can we attribute that to video games? I have my thoughts on it after writing this, but I'll ask you, Jack, and of course the chat. If you have your own thoughts of it, please feel free to put comment it down. So go ahead, Jack. Uh, Floor is yours.
I hmm. I would say that it really depends. As long as the remake itself does feel like a remake, because there are some that claim that they're a remake, but they're not, or like they're more glorified remasters. Uh No, I would say yeah, that there would be a way. There would be a time where you could say that that does count as a work of art that is separate from from the original piece.
Is there any
Uh,
ones that come to your mind?
Let me see. The one that I would say that would come to my mind most is probably I would say the Resident Evil remakes, no matter if it's tank controls or the newer ones currently, they have their own spin on it. If we see right now with how Resident Evil 4 has been treated in the remake, it's completely different in vibes. I haven't played it myself. All I know is that whenever I see a few friends playing it, they it shows that it's more along the lines of it being what you may call it, more horror than action. Because we already know the original Resident Evil was very much into action horror. It had its horror elements, but we could see that the way it was played, you had Leon pile driving people, you had Leon giving these witty one-liners. May and now with the remake, it's a little bit more serious. Can we say that we agree with the direction? I don't agree with the direction because I kind of liked the vibe that the original gave off. But as they say, art is subjective to whoever. Like if people, I'm pretty sure there are people out there that really enjoy the new remake for RE4. Just like how there's people that don't enjoy the remake of RE4.
Mm-hmm. Now what about this? What about this example? A very recent one, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater.
I would love to put my own 2 cents about that, but I have not seen any gameplay of the new Delta game, and I can't give you
All right,
a proper response for that.
fair enough. Then let's see. I'm trying to I so because I came to very much the same conclusion you did, that if the remake game can do I think, I think I'll put it, actually no, I'll put it like in a spectrum. So the RE remakes actually are right in the center, in that they are somewhat faithful to the original games, but they still do their own take, and they are
Hmm.
not one-to-one copies of the originals, for better or for worse. And so because of that, you can actually critique them and judge them outside of the original games, because of how differently designed that they are. You can definitely make your comparisons, but you know you're you literally are comparing two different types of games within the same subgenre. So
Hmm.
Resident Evil meets in the in the middle. When you go more to the left, where the remake becomes less of, where that subtitle then doesn't become too appropriate, what I'm thinking about is Final Fantasy VII remake, and the fact that they call it a remake, even though the game's not actually a remake. You go through the similar scenarios from the original PS1 game, but not only do you
Hmm.
get a alternate story, you even get an ending to that game that leads to a whole different story altogether. So at that point, then it comes at that point. Is that Final Fantasy VII remake even a remake at that point? If it's a different game,
Mm-hmm.
you know, has the same characters, has the same world, has the same aesthetics, even the music, you know, just more orchestrated. But is it even the same game if you're not even following the original beat for beat?
I usually say that it's I still count it as a remake, even though they have changed everything completely to it. Uh, well, actually, I don't know,
Yep.
because for me, I'm torn between the two ideas of one being, yeah, whatever it is, if it has the same character, same setting, same everything, then it's a remake. But if it does change, unless if it changes major plot points,
Which Final
that's where I kind of draw the line.
Final Fantasy VII does. Oh, Final Fantasy VII remake does. And because of that, this full story is still not finished. You have they took one game and they decided to alright, let's remake it, quote unquote, into its own little alternate timeline trilogy. And when you put out that,
I
yep,
see.
and you put it like that, you go, it might as well be its own, like a different game entirely. Like, just take off
Yeah,
the remake at that point. Don't call it that if you're not actually remaking the game. Which I always thought funny, but but I think it's more of a marketing purpose. They put a remake because that's something Final Fantasy fans have wanted for years. So that's let's say when you go left of that from Resident Evil, where it diverges so much that you can debatably not even call it a remake. It's just a different game with the same characters. Now on the complete opposite, we go to the right of RE. We have we have then this interesting conundrum. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have, let's say a good example would be the Crash Bandicoot Insanity trilogy, in which it is remakes of the first three Crash Bandicoot games. And aside from adding extra challenges, and of course, updating all the models and textures, like so that it's up to modern day standards, they're the same three games.
hmm
And there's and the only differences are people who are that people can spot are comes to like the minutia, as in like, oh, Crash doesn't jump exactly like he did in the PS1 games, or oh, they change a little bit of how this is designed in this level to accommodate the newer models. Aside from those minute kind of details, they're the same games. So that they have that type of remake where it's just that. Now, would you consider those a work of art if all it is just they put in different textures and assets?
I don't think so, because it just feels like how you would end up restoring a painting. If it's the same exact painting restored, it doesn't really change what it was already trying to portray.
And and that's a funny aspect of it because the video talks about more in depth, and we're coming to a close of this. We'll move on from it, because there's a segment where in the video Nero interviews a indie game developer, and they talk about how when they wanted to make you see Ghetto's comment, yeah, because the Kiwami 3 not art because it sucks ass. Hey, art can be bad. I'm just saying, art can be bad.
Yeah, that is true. Art can be bad.
But the Nero was interviewing these indie game developers, and they're making a game that is a homage to Super Mario 64. and he was talking with them and how like and and that he was telling them, so like they're like, how dedicated are you guys to making this game like have the same type of um design and gain to Super Mario 64? They go up to a limit, and because the funniest part, well, to me the funniest part is like, it's like we love that game a lot, we do, but we are not making a 3D platformer that runs at 20 frames a second, which is what the original Super Mario 64 ran on.
Mhm.
So then he adds stuff like, we're gonna make this game, we're making this game that, yeah, it's homage 64, but you can play it at any frame rate you want. We're gonna, the camera control is going to be with your right stick. You're not gonna press buttons to move the camera certain angles like in the original game.
Mhm.
And they're gonna give their character a lot more fluid movement options than Mario did in that game. So then I begs the question: well, if you're doing all of that, then is it still an homage to Mario 64? If your intent is to replicate that old style of 3D platformer, especially when when you're trying to look like one. Like, if you see the video and look at the game that the devs are making, like they purposely you have very polygonal characters, and they would use very basic geometry for the most part, with
Mhm.
with like with a lot of texture warping with their game. It's not ugly, and they do it really well, but it's meant to invoke a Nintendo 64 game. So when it comes to that, so then in order to present the question, well, are you guys really then uh not like, are you guys really being true to the game's original intent if you're going to include all these more uh, not quality of life, but all these improvements of technology into your game?
Mhm.
And that's kind of the fascinating part, because uh especially now within the emulation and in and with the modding scene, you can completely change the way a game is meant to be played. It's even artistic ones, to the point that, you know can you get the same experience of playing those games with all these added bonus? Like, would you feel the same way of playing original Ocarina of Time at 20 frames a second as you would with 60 frames a second, with all the visuals properly upscaled to 4K? Not like,
Yeah.
yeah, not like a like remodel with new models. Not that, like, it's just like upscale. Just simply that you still get the polygons and everything. It just won't look like butt on your modern monitor.
By that point, it's literally just a remaster rather than a remake.
Yep. So it's just funny how games are subject to that, and that when you think about it, a painting, all paint the people who restore paintings, all they have to do really is just find the exact, like, delicate colors to fill in with any aging or deterioration. But with games, it's more so like we have to constantly make sure that this old piece of software can be played on new hardware. Is a constant, like, adding an extra. Like, I'm thinking of like adding an extra tube into your arm to put you on life support. That's, at least that's a funny visual. Like, just imagine, like, the original Mario Brothers with the NES cartridge, and imagine a whole bunch of wires sticking out to it, so that it could be played on every new console Nintendo releases. It's a
The poor thing.
yeah, it's just a funny visual, and because of that, it then comes to the question of, like, at what point do we kind of have to, like, put a stop to that? Now, obviously, PC, it's the best way to keep all of that in stored, but you still have to, like, go into the source code and go, all right, we gotta clean this up a bit, because it's not is not running well anymore. So it's fascinating, and you have people who argue, no, you should keep the same limitations because that's how it's supposed to be, damn it. But then there's other people that go, no, the game should not be limited by the hardware software of their time. We can improve them, and then they could be the games as they were intended. And it goes back and forth between those two groups of thought. And you know what? I think for me, for myself, to me, it's a very neutral answer, and it's kind of a boring one because my answer is it depends.
But it really does.
Yeah, because unlike I'm playing through Tomb Raider, and I'm playing it with the upgraded visuals. Because guess what? I like looking at the model they have for Lara Croft, and I don't like looking at the super sharp polygon model that was originally made. As iconic as it was, it's like I don't like looking at that. And plus, for the environment is has a lot more subtle lighting, so things look a lot more not intense, but like you can feel that you are in some other world and with these dim lights because barely any sunlight can enter into this tomb. When you go to the PS1 graphics, there is just only one type of lighting, and everything is equally lit except for a few places that have like purposely made shadows, and it's very jarring. So, do you want to say any last thoughts for till we move on from this? Because I think I pretty much said everything I want to say.
No, I think everything you said, I agree with.
Yeah. Oh, it just shows how smart I am. No, I toot my own horn.
All right, I disagree with everything you say.
All right then. Whoa. All right then. We gotta debate me, bro. We gotta drag this on for 3 more months and make sure that we get big enough channels so everyone can super chat us. Give us the money so we can debate.
Eventually, we end up separating the channel again.
We go to our separate arcs, and instead of playing video games, you end up being a debate bro on Twitch, and I become an e-beggar on YouTube.
Time for me to announce my new Bitcoin or my new cryptocurrency.
And for me, a video will be released to me that I didn't know was filmed, and all you hear me say is, how did that line? Hold on, what did that line go? One for you and one for my hooker. One for you and one for my hooker. Oh, if I ever even steer into the path of being a boogie, Jack, you have the right to like set up a intervention. You're like, do not go down that path.
I'm gonna have to tell your family, like, so your son has gone into a very dark path here.
It all started when he lost a lot of money on Bitcoin. All right. Oh damn. Ryan, dang. The rain discussion took a lot because I want to talk about the stuff with the video games, but you know what? We could save that. It's an evergreen topic, so we'll save that for next time.
All right.
And with that, we will start wrapping things up. And so before we go into our individual announcements, this is the important announcement regarding the JAC Show channel, and especially for our live viewers. So listen up. There's going to be some changes around here. So I spoke with this Jack last week, and I want to do a different strategy in order to not only put out regular content on the main channel, but as well to grow the channel so that, aside from you guys who are always willing to watch us throughout the end, other people who don't normally watch live streams like this, who will be interested in what we're talking about, could have a chance to see to see these segments that are buried deep, like an hour or 30 minutes in within a stream. Everyone has very different viewing habits, and not everyone's willing to sit down for 90 minutes or 2 hours or more, for the most part, with like a non-gaming stream. So, starting with this episode, we are still going to do live shows every Monday night. That is not going to change. We always enjoy people who watches on these nights. But what's going to happen is, as soon as the episode is over, the episode is going to be unlisted, and we're going to then be posting various clips of segments, whether funny ones, interesting ones from the episode, and we will be releasing that as independent videos on our channel. So if you are watching the live stream, it is going to be a repeat of content, but the idea is for people who don't watch the live show to get a taste of Jack and I's content. Outside of our individual stuff and outside of these live streams. So that is the idea. It doesn't change up for anything for you guys. This is all about trying to get this channel bigger and have more people involved with the JAC Show. So that's gonna be in effect here on out, and hopefully we hope that this has a positive benefit for everyone. So that's what we'll be doing. Now, we also will say there are some people who do like to re-listen or have us in the background for these full episodes. So while they'll be unlisted, you can still watch them through the JAC Show playlist with all of our episodes. So even though the episode will not be able to click on the stream itself on our YouTube channel, you can still access it through the playlist. So there you go. And with that, Jack, go ahead and share with our fine folks, what do you have going on for this week?
All right. So for tomorrow, Winter and I are gonna continue on with Resident Evil 5, and from there, let's see. I think I have. No, I don't. I'm free on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, we'll figure out to see what we're gonna be doing. Hopefully, I'll have a chance to play some games that are in the back burner. If not, then it is what it is. It's always been a busy schedule for me.
Jack's gonna go into stasis. Don't worry, I'll wake him up from his cryo sleep.
Put me into stasis. Put me in the cryo pod.
Jack 11.
Until next time.
Jack 116.
Call me when you need me.
Oh, all right. And would that be all?
Let's see. I feel like I'm forgetting something very important that I was going to announce.
Is it another Yu-Gi-Oh tournament?
No, but I did thoroughly beat Crow in some of the matches.
Yes, and he surprisingly beat Winter. I saw that one, and you're like, you know what? The Bird Boy needs one. He needs one dub under his belt.
Not after what he pulled with me. Freaking tells me I don't want to play solitaire. I don't care for the newer stuff, and then proceeds to make a deck purely playing solitaire by himself. Freaking my ass. That got me salty. That got me so salty. I was like, man, going against his own convictions.
He's in it to win, damn it. He's like,
just for that. I'm gonna hide a bunch of ash blossoms in my deck now, just for that.
Well, you know what? I'm sure you will remember what you have going on through this week, and of course, always make sure that when Jack goes live to check in, because that's where we make. Oh, you remember?
Yeah. So as always on Thursdays, I am not doing my streams, but on Friday we're gonna do Friend Friday. Hopefully, if not, we're gonna go back to doing some. I want to go back to doing some of the chill streams that I usually do. So because like lately, it's been a lot of collaborations with people, and as much as I like doing collaborations, it leaves me with like little time to talk with the chat. So chill streams will always be welcome. So that might be something I'm gonna also do on Wednesday just to relax and talk to people. But yep, that's about it now.
All right, thank you very much, Jack. And as for me, I will be with the announcement I did earlier. I will be busy to making sure to see what nuggets of good I could find in this episode, and that will be uploaded as its own videos onto the YouTube channel. Um, my solo channel, you know, again, that is very much a if something strikes me, I'll upload it and I'll upload it. You know, that's that's how it's gonna work. In the meantime, of course, working diligently on my next big video project. So that's all I have to announce. No live stream for me for this Friday. So with all that said, thank you very much for watching episode 239 of the JAC Show. Hope you have a good day, good afternoon, good evening, and this is Hack and Jack. Sign out.
Good night.